Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'm going to tell you why today's Colin Kaepernick news proves it's time for the NFL to take an official stance on kneeling.
And I'm Colin Cowherd, and if you think I'm going to celebrate Russell Westbrook's record-breaking season, you clearly have never seen this show. Speak for yourself starts now. Triple-double, triple-double, triple-double.
You're just jealous. You wish you were Russell Westbrook. All right, hello and welcome. Joining us today is NBA champion Steven Jackson and the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's start with another major setback for Colin Kaepernick, who allegedly is still trying to land a job in the NFL after going unsigned last season. ESPN's Adam Schefter and the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport are reporting that the Seahawks postponed a workout with the free agent quarterback after he wouldn't clarify whether he'd stop kneeling for the national anthem. Another report says that Kaepernick flat out said, no. Cowherd, you blame Kaepernick for the meeting being postponed.
No, I don't blame anybody. This is what's called business. They have a right to adjust. If a business believes, rightly or wrongly, something is affecting their bottom line, ratings and attendance down, okay, they have a right to adjust. If newspapers would have adjusted, they wouldn't be out of business. If magazines adjusted, they wouldn't be out of business. If blogs adjusted, more and more would flourish like the Big Lead. Businesses have a right to adjust. The NFL says, that thing didn't help us last year. It pissed a lot of our fans off. And it did, because my Twitter account was as nasty as I've seen it. And they said, well, the NBA doesn't they won't allow their guys to kneel. You know what, we don't have a policy yet, but we're going to ask players, are you going to kneel? And if they say yeah, we'll pass on them.
I don't blame Kaepernick for a different reason. I think that he is filled with so much bad advice and so many people who have the appearance of being objective or have the appearance of being on his side, who really aren't on his side, are giving him so much bad advice that he has chosen the path of, I'm going to be a martyr and a victim and be celebrated over Twitter rather than continue on as a professional athlete and try to rehabilitate my career. I think if I were his age and if I had his background, having been given up for adoption or by his mother, never knowing his father, being black, and then raised by a white family in suburbia, I would be confused and very impressionable. And so if I had people telling me the thing you're doing is the greatest thing in the world, if I had people like Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk beating a drum every day, they don't have a right to ask you those questions. Just giving him absolutely the wrong advice, bad advice. All these people using Colin Kaepernick, I blame them, not Colin Kaepernick.
I just feel like it should be able to have respect from both sides. Obviously, we all know that the NFL and these teams care more about money than people getting treated right. That's just what it is. They can care less about it. They want their business to succeed, and that's first. That's most important than anything. We understand that. I feel it should be some common line. I think they're both at fault. I don't think you should not hire a guy just because he wants to make a peaceful stance. And I think at this point, Colin, I think you should be able to talk to these teams and come to some kind of common ground. I don't think it should be, well, you do this and we'll sign you. And I don't think Colin should call these teams and be like, well, if I can't kneel, I won't play. It should be a fine line. And it's hard to ask a guy not to kneel when the kid just got shot 20 times 2 weeks ago in Sacramento.
Let me ask you this.
It's hard.
Let me ask you this. I can't bring a picket sign to Fox.
You can if you want it, if you had the balls to do it.
No, I wouldn't, because in my contract, there are certain stipulations.
Well,
basketball players can't ski, or you break the contract. There are moral clauses. There are clauses all through
contract. They still do it, though.
Well, but if you get caught, they can break the contract. That's why we have attorneys. The reality is the NFL has said, except for 3 hours on Sunday, we'll support all your causes. But in the workplace, because we think it hurts business, we don't want that.
Well, the NBA's good at it because they
won't let you kneel.
Not that, is they got the right guys in the NBA that know they won't do it. I guarantee you. If it was 10 guys like me in the NBA, when all this started, Oh, I would have been kneeling. A couple other guys would have been kneeling. But those guys that would kneel, Rasheed Wallace, the guys like that, they're not in the NBA. And they're smart at getting rid of those
But
guys.
I want to make it back to Kaepernick here for a second. And I got to say, the more you read about this, and you made some good points yesterday that I disagreed with, Whitlock, but does it not feel like Kaepernick's running a game on the NFL here? I'm not going to say anything at all out of my mouth, nothing about football. But I really want people to sign me. I want them to talk about me. I'm keeping this all a mystery. The Seahawks call you. You know what the Seahawks are going to ask. Are you going to kneel? He says no. It feels to me like you've been saying that people are controlling this guy. He's a 30-year-old man, though. This is not some 23-year-old young kid. It's a 30-year-old guy being controlled, and he's running a game on the NFL. This is supposed to be a great time for the league. The draft is in 2 weeks. The schedule release comes out next week. Kaepernick picks this week for him and just so magically Eric Reed. Two really negative stories. This time, it just feels like a game that Kaepernick's running, and I don't like it.
You've said this from the beginning. Manziel out there throwing, playing, RG3 practicing video. They want in the league, and they're showing me, oh, they're out there playing in leagues. Kaepernick has one piece of video in a year and a half throwing kind of by himself.
Listen, I want to go back to Jason's point in terms of Kaepernick's 30, he's a man. Colin, you and I, over the past couple of weeks, we fell in love with a Netflix documentary, Wild Wild Country. It was about a cult in Oregon.
Yeah.
And so those were adults, and some of them 50, 60 years old, that got involved in a cult-like environment and followed something that was really stupid. And we think a 30-year-old kid can't get swayed and be moved by all of this social media pressure that's telling him everything he's doing is the right thing, and oh my God, you're making this dramatic impact on America. He's fallen for the okie doke. He's being used no different than, again, in that Wild Wild Country documentary, Bhagwan or whatever, some cult leader that had 90 Rolls Royces and exploited the hell out of people, but they worshiped him. Colin Kaepernick is being exploited by the Mike Florios of the world, the left-wing media that using him for clicks and attention and giving him bad advice.
But Whitlock, even if he said he wasn't going to kneel, all those people that have been in his ear are going to instantly call him, he's a sellout. Oh, he's not doing it for, he just wants to get that money. He's in a spot, I don't know if it's that sunken place where he has no choice. Maybe you're right. Maybe he is right now in a spot where he has to follow whatever these people are saying.
But at the end of the day, you have to look at it like this too. You say he's a grown man. This is a decision that he chose to make, that he's willing to live with. So at the end of the day, we all are just on the outside looking in. He has to deal with this. If he decides that he wants to kneel, and if he decides that kneeling is going to cost him his job and he's never going to play again because he decides to kneel, then that's on him. And you got to respect him for his decision.
Come out and tell everybody about it. Don't just sit back and let the media do it.
I wish he would speak for him. I wish he would speak for him.
There's a new boss in town at Buffalo Wild Wings, and he deals in bacon. It's the Bacon Boss Burger, featuring bacon 3 different ways and a blanket of white cheese sauce. And he's joined by other new favorites like the smothered cheesesteak quesadilla, sweet chili shrimp, and Alaska cod classic. All pair perfectly with a Sam 76, a fruity ale with the crisp finish of a lager. Hurry in today and try them all before they're gone at Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports, available for a limited time while supplies last. Please drink responsibly.
Now, staying on this topic, there's a report that Bengals owner Mike Brown is planning to prohibit his players from protesting during the anthem. Of course, NBA owners don't have to deal with this issue. There's already a league-wide ban in the NBA on anthem protests. Whitlock, do you think the NFL should now follow the NBA's lead and ban the anthem protests?
Of course they should. Of course, and they should have done it a long time ago. This is like a lot of people deal with problems. They hope they go away. If we ignore it long enough, it'll just go away. And that's not what happens with problems. They generally metastasize. And so that's what's happened here. And so, yes, it is time for the commissioner to put his foot down the way David Stern had to do in the NBA on certain, the dress code. And oh my God, if you institute a dress code in the NBA, you're racist. And then, no, I'm not. We're instituting a dress code. And everybody got over it. And it was actually, it wasn't a racist move. It was good for business. And so at some point, you have to tune out the idiots and do what's right.
Listen, Facebook, the most powerful company in the last 10 years, Facebook, has had to make several policy changes in the last 2 weeks. It's called business. The NFL changes rules mid-season. I mean, they'd change them at half if they could. In my life, you know, there's always been a saying that the NFL, NBA thinks of it first, the NFL gets it right, and baseball makes the most money on it. The point being is the NFL is a rule-changing business. They have been forever. Kickoffs, PATs, they made
The catch rule, they just changed
They just changed it. So they're going to change a policy. This is what they do. Every year they have a committee. They change 7 rules a year. They need to change a policy.
That dress code rule was cultural. It came fresh straight after
Good
the brawl.
business.
It was
It was good business.
But if you look
you
at
own
it,
a business, Stephen?
I do several.
And again, your business is most concerned with the bottom line. You're holding the NFL and these other sports leagues to a different standard than you do your own business.
Not true. Not true. Because I'm just speaking off facts. It was cultural because the dress code was only changed because what race is walking in there with big chains, do-rags, and headphones on? It was just us. It wasn't no other players, no other race doing that. So it came right after the brawl. And it was good for business, but you cannot say it wasn't cultural.
If the business is paying you millions of dollars and they do something that's in the best interest of business so they can continue to pay you millions, if not more millions of dollars, how is that bad for the players? Sometimes you have to force people to do the right thing. There's nothing wrong with demanding that some 21-year-olds to 30-year-old guys come to work dressed appropriately.
Right, no question, and they have that right, but there's no league without us. There's no league without the players.
Well,
There's no millions without the arenas.
It goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand.
there are
Steve,
fewer
the big
people-
difference with the NBA and NFL is the NBA's rosters are tiny. And right now, the horses have left the barn in the NFL. Colin, I got to disagree with you. You cannot now just say, okay, let's do the NBA. I thought that was the idea. And that's a great move. Let's do it. You can't. The players are going to revolt. The rosters are massive. They will see that it's definitely a move to try to control them. You factor in the social media and what all these outside forces are saying. You can't do that rule. I think what they need to do is say, you know what? Let's just keep the players in the locker room during the national anthem and move on. I don't think you can try to institute a rule.
Well, but by the way,
They don't have to try. They can do what they want.
By
They
the
don't
way,
have to try.
and the
that
players
would
can
be a
revolt.
policy change. What
That
you're
would be a
saying,
policy change.
That's a policy. Now, what I'm saying is, what you just offered is what I think is the way to do it. That's a policy change.
I would go the other route and deal with the fallout because it will go away. Trust me. People thought it would be apocalypse now once they made a dress code in the NBA. I heard everybody, oh my God, it's 1960s all over again, and everybody's a racist. And then they did the dress code. Man, everybody looks better, looks more professional, and everybody moved on.
The big difference is the NFL is very aligned with the armed forces. We know that right now. The league is definitely aligned, and there are veterans from wars, Vietnam, what have you. They do not like this whatsoever.
What happened to
and
the
you
dress
can't
code?
all of a sudden say, hey, we're going to institute this. And I just don't feel like it's
What
going
happened to the
work
dress
right now.
code?
What do you mean what happened?
What happened to it?
It's still in effect
Where?
in the NBA.
Where?
Do you see the do-rags
Do you
and
see,
all?
what you mean? You see
And the white
headphones, big chains, all that is back. The only thing that's there is do-rags because nobody don't wear them no more.
They don't.
Where's the dress code
Still out
now?
of fashion.
Where's the dress code? We wear
dress code is
LeBron.
still in
LeBron
effect.
wears a do-rag. You always see LeBron in the locker room with a do-rag on.
In the locker room, not on the bench.
But I'm
that
saying,
was the dress
but
code.
there's no dress code now.
There still is a dress code.
Where?
In the NBA,
What-
it's the rule
have you
is still
seen
on the
Have you
book.
seen Russ
Do you
walking
see- I'm talking about on the bench, guys are in sport coats, Steve.
with T-shirts, not even with collar shirts? There's no
You
dress
do
code
that
no
on
more.
this show,
There's no
okay.
dress code no more.
Joined by 2 NBA champs, Steven Jackson, and the man who know everyone, the centerpiece of the 2008 Celtics title, Brian Scalabrine.
Red Mamba.
Who, by the way, is in the best shape of his life,
The
including
Red
his
Mamba.
playing career.
Best player in the Big Three.
To one of the most bizarre coincidences I've seen in my lifetime. Russell Westbrook, who claims that he doesn't pad his stats, all he needed was 16 rebounds last night to become the first player to average a triple-double back-to-back years. Well, what do you know? You're not going to believe this. He somehow wound up grabbing 20, the single highest game total of his entire career. I'm still in shock. What a coincidence. Westbrook spoke about the support he gets from the people who helped him get those rebounds, his teammates.
It's unbelievable, man. The group of guys from last year, this year, the amount of support, everything they've done for me, I don't take for granted, and try to make their jobs easy as much as possible. They make my job easy as well, and we're going to continue to keep this thing going.
Watch him at practice. We watch it on a nightly basis. He's got to pass it to somebody. So, you know, it's we feel a part of it, but a lot of it is we can't take credit for it. A lot of it is him, you know, having that mindset on a nightly basis that he's going to give everything to this game, and it shows.
Dwayne Wade came to Westbrook's defense, tweeting, 2 years in a row averaging a triple-double, still gets criticized. Man, y'all need to stop. Whitlock, you think Westbrook's accomplishments should be celebrated wildly?
Look, okay, I'm gonna give you, we started this with your meter, and so I'm gonna give you a meter. There's O.J. Simpson going for 2,000 yards the first time, and his teammates did everything in their power the last few games and the last game to get him to 2,000, to change the game plan the whole 9 yards. And then I say this respectfully, because I love this guy, but then there's Michael Strahan getting that last sack where Brett Favre gave it to him.
Yeah.
OJ's 2,000 yards is one of the most celebrated things in all of sports.
Yeah.
Mike sacking Brett Favre for that last 20-second sack, not as celebrated. I would put Westbrook somewhere in the middle of those two.
That's fair. That's very good.
That is not fair.
That's
But
weak.
can we just, here's what I want. Here's all I want, consistency. So last year, the NBA media told me it was the greatest accomplishment ever. I was mocked and lectured for saying it's a stat. That doesn't determine value, it's a stat. This year, NBA.com, not in the top 7 MVP voting. ESPN's reporters, not in the top 6. So, time out. In 1 year, we've gone from greatest achievement ever to no biggie. Which is it? NBA media.
It's not the players.
Is it great or is it been there, done
Yeah,
that?
but you guys are the ones that established that. Like averaging a triple-double, averaging a double-double, going 20 and 10 night in and night out is an accomplishment. So how are we going to hate on him for averaging a triple-double? That doesn't deserve criticism. How is that criticizing?
It's critical. Steroids didn't change championships. Barry Bonds never won a title. Sosa didn't. McGuire didn't. It changed personal numbers. That's why we were outraged by it. What Westbrook is doing, he's changing numbers, and those numbers are now history. He's goosing rebounds for history. If he was a marginal player on a marginal team who gives her, he's changed the record book.
If it was easy to get rebounds, why all the 7-footers don't average double digits?
I didn't say it was easy.
It's not easy to get a triple-double, and like, okay, you have to give this man credit. He should be in MVP votes. I mean, the reason why he's not in there because it's clear who's going to win it. But if players voted for MVP, he will be at the top of their list. What he's doing as far as averaging triple-double 2 years in a row, any player that's played in this league think that is amazing.
It is amazing.
So it should be celebrated. I don't see how anybody could, even if you have the right to speak about the game, when someone averages triple-double 2 years in a row, it shouldn't be a bad comment to come out your mouth, period.
But let me show this. So
Period.
Oklahoma City played Golden State. Russ needed 1 assist to get a triple-double. I'm going to show you the play. KD and Steph, watch Russ's reaction. He's upset he didn't shoot because he wanted an assist.
No.
What? Look at the bench. KD and Steph are laughing at Westbrook. Why? Because they
He
know
doesn't expect Steven Adams to shoot no elbow jumper. When has he shot
why
an
is
elbow
Westbrook
jumper?
upset? Because
That ain't
he
an elbow
wants
jumper.
that.
Perfect example.
That ain't an
I
elbow
got a perfect example.
Why
though.
are they laughing at him?
I had 9 assists when I was in Golden State, and everybody in the arena, even me, knew that I needed a 1 assist for a triple-double. Everybody I passed the ball to shot it. When they got a rebound, they threw it back to me. They shot it. They wanted me to get it. What's wrong with them wanting him to get a triple-double?
Because your
average a triple-double. You know how hard that is?
No, your triple-double was a night. His is history. It's Bonds cheating on home run records.
One night.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. How is that cheating?
It's goosing.
That's
It's
not
inauthentic.
goosing, man.
It's the tapestry of the game.
But you're telling me, okay, so let's just separate this out. James Harden doesn't do it. LeBron James doesn't do it.
Not
Like
to that.
all the players nowadays. Steven Jackson just said, listen, I had a chance to get a triple-double. We went for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Why are you saying that that's not good for the game?
Let me defend Cowherd here. Because he said on a night, I get it. But over the course of an entire season, and again, if you go to what Paul George says, like, hey, we can't take credit for it. It was all Russ. And again, and so it's all about Russ. It's an individual accomplishment. He's turned this into golf, damn near, or tennis. He's out there by himself just chasing stats for an entire season.
You know what?
It's got to be about
If
more
you were
than
doing
that.
a triple-double and you're playing tomorrow, and you got one, hell yeah, get Scalabrine a triple. You're a defensive guy, a tough guy. He's going to get a triple tonight. We got to get Steven a triple.
How is it different?
Because you're literally this whole campaign last year that won the MVP, took it away from MJ, Harden, who could have deserved it. You took it away from him, goosing rebound stats.
He took it away from him because he averaged a triple-double, something that hasn't been done in forever.
But he only
And he
averaged
lost
it
Kevin
because
Durant.
of his
And he
rebound.
lost Kevin Durant. And this year it's a little bit different. Like, you're like taking one thing and making it your argument. But Kevin Durant leaving and then him winning when they thought they were going to be bad, then him averaging a triple-double, it was the easy vote for the media. But this year he got Carmelo Anthony. He got Paul George.
And, still a
and he still did it.
They still a 4 seed.
And he has more wins this year.
And I don't mean to cut you off, what you said about what Paul George meant when he said it's all on Russ, meaning that he has the energy, he has the will to go and get them rebounds. It's not saying they don't have nothing to do with it, but he has to have that will to go get that rebound.
I do think he has the will to get 7 a night. I think they goose him 3, which gives him this legendary achievement.
And y'all's point about, hey, they're still a 4 seed, they improved their roster dramatically.
And improved by
From a year
no
ago.
game.
Y'all praising LeBron, he's a 4 seed.
No.
You are praising LeBron.
He's a 4 seed.
Don't switch topics.
No, but it's the same thing.
LeBron lost Kyrie.
Y'all say LeBron is the best in the world. He's a 4 seed.
LeBron lost Kyrie. LeBron had Kevin Love hurt. Do you know only 2 teams in this league, top 4 players, played 75 games or more?
Always make
Toronto
excuses for LeBron,
and
boy.
OKC.
You know that they're slightly better than Phoenix on the defensive end.
Who?
And they're the Cavs. And they're also below the Sacramento Kings on the defensive end. 29th in the NBA in defense.
LeBron can't guard everybody.
Oh, wait. You're saying he's playing at a high level on the defensive end?
Not his
So how
best
is that not goosing? If you don't play the other end of the floor, if you don't play any defense, and you use no energy at all, and then your stats are inflated offensively, even if he's not chasing it, how is that not goosing the
Well,
game?
in that case, then every NBA player ever except him goose their stats.
No. Because
Most
most of the
guys
team-
don't play.
Like James Harden, his team is 6th in the NBA in defense.
Yeah, because he's got Clint Capella and Trevor Ariza, and Chris Paul's a great defensive
Well,
guard.
I mean, LeBron James, we all know what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Night in and night out because he's goosing it, or because he wants to play 82, or because he wants to play 3,000 minutes. He doesn't try on the defensive end, which I don't blame him. I commend him for doing that because how else are you going to play 82 at 34 years old?
Yeah.
You have to take off. Let me just, Steve, how hard is it to be a two-way player every day? Every day.
It's hard, and it's definitely hard to do it and play 82. And that's why guys like Kawhi Leonard and those guys are so
By the
praised.
way,
But I'm not hating on him for doing
we
it.
got a white mamba bringing the noise.
No, I'm not hating.
Oh,
I'm not saying
player,
LeBron is goosing it. Like,
Yeah,
just
you
like
did.
I'm not saying.
Oh,
Russell-
don't. Yes, you did.
No,
Don't back
no,
away
no,
from
no,
it.
no,
It's
no,
great.
no.
Brian Scalabrine said LeBron is goosing. LeBron, I hope you're watching. All right, welcome back to the show. Jason McIntyre is here, and joining us now is Hall of Famer Ray Lewis. To the NFL, where it's no secret the Patriots are looking for a backup to Tom Brady. Now a report says New England is the team, quote, most interested in drafting Heisman winner Lamar Jackson. Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network says Lamar could have a Deshaun Watson-type impact in New England. Even Tom Brady himself went on Instagram and said Lamar is, quote, a beast. Lamar appeared happy to hear this. When he saw Tom Brady's post, he tweeted, "The GOAT spoke." Then he added a smiling emoji, with horns for some reason. Anyway, Cowherd, you think Lamar Jackson would be a good fit in New England?
He's not Deshaun Watson. Can we stop with that? Deshaun was throwing for 400 yards against Saban, and Saban had 6 weeks to prepare. Deshaun Watson is great. I don't know if he's a good fit anywhere. I think he's Tebow. There's something. He can win games. He's different.
Tebow.
I think he's Tebow.
Colin,
I don't think he can make the throws on 3rd and long in this league.
Colin.
He is a small athlete who runs around a lot.
Colin, that's a complete football player at the quarterback position, at every level.
He's small.
There's no weakness he has from the quarterback position.
3rd and long.
Well, look, they said Michael Vick had the same problem. No, because he's so athletic, sometimes we have to, what his gift is. His gift is making plays out of the pocket, like Russell Wilson, right? It's a magic man thing that they know in the front 7, nobody's going to be able to deal with them. I'm just telling you, I've watched this boy since he was a freshman. I studied this boy, and if you watch him close enough, his instincts, the New England Patriots, if they are really looking at him, that's a heck of a pickup for the New England Patriots after Tom Brady's legacy.
I do think, Colin, he is the perfect fit for the Patriots for this reason. Again, the whole mystery man deal and not talking with everybody. I think Bill Belichick will embrace that. This is a kid that will be all in on football and not trying to overexpose himself. I think that Bill Belichick and the combination of Belichick and Brady, there's so much respect there, again, from Lamar Jackson, that if they came to him and said, look, Tom's going to be here another year or two. Here's what we need you to do during this year or two while you're learning under Tom. We want to use you in some different spots. I think he would be open to that coming from Belichick and Brady because they've seemed to have shown him some warmth and affinity. And so, yeah, I think New England and Belichick is the one spot where you could get him on the field early and train him as a quarterback.
How about this one, Colin? You said Josh McDaniels. You said Tim Tebow, right? Who drafted Tim Tebow?
Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels in Denver. Josh McDaniels is the heir apparent to Bill Belichick. If Josh McDaniels can get them to draft Lamar Jackson, and in 2 or 3 years when Brady's gone, you don't think Josh McDaniels and Lamar Jackson would be a perfect fit in New England?
Let me throw something at you. Just came up top of my head. Haven't thought it out a ton. Of all the quarterbacks coming out of college, Darnold, Rosen, Allen, Lamar, Mason Rudolph, all of them, who do the players like most?
Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay. Who is Belichick, as an aging coach, currently struggling with?
The current players.
I'm interested in Lamar Jackson. The players think, Bill, street cred. Am I nuts?
No.
Am I nuts?
Let me tell you why.
Colin, you gotta stop.
No, I'm gonna tell you why he's not nuts.
crazy?
You gotta stop this.
Ray, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I'm gonna tell you why.
Hey, listen to Whitlock.
No. I'm gonna tell you why. Did Robert Kraft just not go visit
Thank
Meek Mill
you.
in prison?
I get that.
They are trying to get some street.
Absolutely.
They're the Trump team.
Wait a minute, they trying to get street.
No, they're the Trump team, and the players are not a fan of Trump.
And the Malcolm Butler decision was so repulsive to most players
He has
that
to
they
do something
do
to
have
change
to
it.
rebuild that narrative.
The players, guys like you, guys in the league, they love Lamar Jackson.
Absolutely.
Okay, Belichick leaks a story. We like Lamar Jackson, and if he doesn't get him, hey man, we tried. Somebody got him before us.
Hold on. The Patriots were 31st in the NFL in defense. Tom Brady just lost the Super Bowl. You want to win another Super Bowl? You can take Lamar Jackson in the first round. When you're on the cusp of a Super Bowl, you think that's going to make Tom Brady happy?
It's at the end of the first round.
Yeah, they got
They
four
got
picks.
extra picks.
Yeah, I'd take one of my
This is
4
a
picks.
very smart pick for them.
Street cred is crazy.
Listen, here's the thing. You may be right. I gotta be honest with you. You may be right because here's what I worry about. I saw Terrell Pryor run around. It didn't quite work. Brad Smith, Tebow, it didn't. But there have been runaround guys. Vic did work at more than one place. I just don't know. This is one of these things. I gotta see this.
So what's the difference of him and Mariota?
I thought Mariota was had played generally tougher opponents, bigger games, and was great in those big games. Lamar has struggled in big games against really elite NFL prospects on defense. Mariota was better in big games.
Wow, okay.
Okay, I think
Ray,
Mariota's a
here's
better
what I
thrower.
think the Patriots are saying, though, and I agree with you in this sense. I think Bill Belichick and Brady are saying he's really talented. Yeah. Let's get him in here, and we'll figure it out.
Imagine him sitting up on the Brady for a year or two.
By the way, is it okay sometimes to just say with these prospects, I got to kind of see it?
Yeah.
I didn't know out Tebow. I got to kind of see it. to another curious Patriot story. Now, remember how their offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, agreed to become the head coach of the Colts, then changed his mind and went back to New England? Well, Albert Breer of MMQB says the driving force behind that decision was actually the Patriots owner, Robert Kraft. Breer says Kraft wanted to maintain some stability since Brady and Belichick appeared to be near the end of their careers. Whitlock, you think Robert Kraft should be taking back control of the Patriots?
Yeah, he's got an old head coach that I think is 66. He's got an old quarterback that's 40, 41 years old. He's the guy, it's his team until he goes on, and so he's going to be there longer than Belichick and Brady. So, yeah, he needs to be in control and reestablish himself as the visionary of that franchise and set that franchise in motion for the next 10, 15 years.
Kraft meddled with Belichick, and it didn't work. Kraft meddled with Parcells, and it didn't work.
When?
Well, I mean,
what meddling?
I mean, if I want to be able to, I want to go to the grocery store, Garoppolo. You heard the Parcells quotes. Remember Parcells years ago? I should, if I have to cook, I should get a shot for the
Let
groceries.
me tell you what Robert Kraft would say. Parcells doesn't have 5 Super Bowls. I do.
Okay.
Bill Belichick won 5 Super Bowls with me meddling or whatever you want to call it.
What was New England before Belichick got there? They weren't very good. Okay.
Who hired Belichick?
Here's Belichick.
Who hired Belichick?
Robert Kraft, and then got out of his way and let Belichick run football.
He hired him.
Well, just because you hire somebody. If somebody hired you and then every day came down and said, here's what you have to lead the show with, second the show, third
He
segment.
ain't doing that. He ain't remotely doing that. He came in 1 or 2 times and, hey, man, I'd like for this to happen.
Listen, guys. I'm going to check your temperature. I got to check you, man. Well, no, listen. Listen, everybody sees change must come in New England. It's inevitable. It's happening. Right? Belichick's time is coming. Brady time is coming. It's coming. And the only person that may be there in another 2-3 years is Robert Kraft, along with Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying, you got to start over.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's feeling that.
Yeah.
I think Brady's feeling it.
No.
Everybody on that team.
This is what you guys are saying the same thing, basically. You can see the end coming.
Yeah.
This team has a leak. It's like the Trump White House, man. It's got a leak every 15 minutes.
So why can't Robert Kraft, because this story is based on that Robert Kraft was the guy that talked Josh McDaniels into staying. And so why can't Robert Kraft be saying, I got to find my next Belichick, and I got to find my next Brady?
Absolutely.
And again, I'm going to treat them the same, whoever the new guys are, Josh McDaniels, maybe Lamar Jackson, maybe Mason Rudolph, who knows. I'm going to treat them the same way as I treated the guys, Belichick and Brady. I'm going to give them free reign until it reaches a point where I feel like I got to step in and say, no, do it this way.
That's a pretty good point today by you two. You're not bad either. Welcome back. Join now 2 stars on this show. Forget basketball and the big 3. Steven Jackson, Brian Scalabrine.
2 champs.
Let's get to an epidemic in the NBA. You can't deny it. It's tanking.
No question.
This season, 9 teams lost 53 games or more. That's the most teams to openly tank in almost a decade. Some people aren't too happy about it, including Detroit head coach Stan Van Gundy,
I love him.
whose Pistons apparently gave it their all and finished just outside of the playoffs. Van Gundy said, when you have a third of the league trying to lose games, I don't think that's good for our product at all. To me, it's a lack of integrity in your league and a lack of respect for your fans. Stan is strong. Whitlock, you trust Commissioner Adam Silver to fix the tanking epidemic?
No, I don't. I think Adam Silver's soft. I think he worries too much about being friendly with the players. I think he wets his finger and puts it in the air to see which way the wind is blowing. I think that if David Stern were in charge, this tanking epidemic wouldn't be going on. But look, Adam Silver is the antithesis of David Stern. And that was great when you had David Stern. You needed a good cop and a bad cop. Now all you got is a good cop. And so, the people are running wild.
What's that word again?
Antigonus?
Antithesis.
Antithesis,
I
the
want to know
opposite.
the definition. Oh, the opposite. Okay.
It's the opposite.
I gotta ask. You only know if you ask.
No.
You know there's a competition committee, right, that votes on all this. And you know that small-time owners, like in small markets, want to have tanking available so they can rebuild their team. So when you say it's Adam Silver's fault, they put this to vote and they wanted to change lottery reform, and most guys from small markets voted it down.
Why did David Stern create the ping pong ball lottery and alter it several times? He hated tanking. I know 2 people that negotiated with David Stern at ESPN. He was a yeller and a screamer. He would get on the phone and he would scream at you if he thought there was any. He would call newspaper editors, don't write this story. To your point, Adam Silver, his DNA is friendly, pro-player, progressive. Nobody's intimidated by him. So people are openly tanking. There's no fear. Owners were afraid of David Stern. Players aren't even afraid of Adam Silver. Forget the owners. The
No,
players
he's afraid
are.
of the players.
I think, well, with Adam Silver, I don't think he's afraid of players. I don't think players are afraid of him. Guys respect him, but it's great to have a commissioner that's down to earth. It's great to have a commissioner you can call and talk to about the littlest things. It's great to be able to
Have a friend.
to call a commissioner.
Yeah, have a friend.
Nah, he's not really a friend.
So is that great?
That's what
the
you just
tanking?
described.
You like
No,
that
no,
tanking?
No, I don't agree with tanking, but I look at it different. Okay, a lot of these teams tanking, but it's because of that product that they have out there, the players they have out there, and that's why a lot of teams are sorry. The teams ain't really got to try to lose. They're gonna lose anyway with the product that they have out there.
But they are trying to lose.
They are.
You want to know how to fix it? Simple. It's an easy way. The teams that just miss, the Denvers of last night battling for the playoffs, the Detroits that just miss, the Clippers, they should have the most ping pong balls.
I
Easy.
agree. I
Easy.
totally
And then
agree.
your product out there, they won't put 132 all-time record for most rookies to ever play in the NBA. There were more rookies in the NBA this year than the first year the league was even invented because they want to lose. And you want to lose with young guys, you can go ahead and do that. But you make it so the team that almost makes the playoffs and players that
Totally
are fighting.
agree with that.
And last year, Miami, who went 31-9 down the stretch and brought it every single night, gets rewarded with the 14th pick in the draft or the 13th pick in the draft? No way. Those teams should be rewarded. And can you imagine the fans down the stretch and what they're seeing? Rooting for their team to win so they can get a better pick.
White Mamba, you're killing it. You're killing it. You keep just dropping knowledge. And the point he's making, Stephen, this is why I'm saying you don't need a parent in the commissioner's office. That 132 rookies you're talking about playing, that's taking money out of veteran guys who should
That's
be in the
definitely not
league
good.
and taking money from them. That's why you don't want a best friend in
He's
the
not a
commissioner's
best
office.
friend.
Oh, he's very pro-player.
Put it like this. I talked to him on the phone. I talked to David Stern on the phone about me putting out a mixtape. Was he my friend?
No,
I
but
called him and talked to him about me putting out a mixtape during the season. Is that my friend?
No, probably because
Right.
he told you not to do it.
No.
Concentrate on basketball.
He couldn't tell me not to because it was freedom of speech. He just told me be willing to deal with the flack from it, which I knew was going to come from it. But
Again-
I called him, so that makes him my
It's a
friend?
great
The same man that
combination.
fined me $3 million. Is he my friend? No.
Stern and Silver, great combination. Bad cop, good cop. Now it's all good cop. And again, y'all don't even know the players don't even know the price they're playing. They got all these kids out there. They can pay them less. They're taking money out of veterans' pockets. It's stupid. And if David Stern were in charge, it wouldn't be going on.
Here's the other thing.
You have better teams if you had
Okay.
more veterans in the
First
league.
of all, not only that, but when I was a kid going to games, I didn't know all the rookies. And I wanted to be a sportscaster, but I knew veterans. I knew a Steven Jackson when I was a kid. I would have known you. You've been in the league 10 years. I'm paying $1.75 to bring my kid to a game.
No, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Truly.
I don't know who.
I'm like that, too.
I have a friend who covers the league, and I talked to him on the phone driving home yesterday. He goes, I watched the game on TV the other night. I had to Google several players. I'd never heard
right.
of them.
I have
That's
to,
a
too.
bad product.
If everyone was trying to win because the team that just missed the playoffs was getting the #1 pick, do you think that you would have 132 rookies and 20 guys?
Your
you don't
idea
know?
is great. That is
that's-
exactly the way to do it.
And we should reward Denver. We should reward Miami last
we
year.
should reward effort.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to win, even if you lose close.
And that goes to you can't pay a guy $100 million that's going to average 4 or 5 points on your team and expect to win.
I'm not sure if I agree with Brian's solution because I'm going to have to think it through, but I think it could potentially create some problems. Look, suppose you're taking your My Indiana Pacers and Victor Oladipo gets hurt game 28 and you finish at the bottom of the league because of you've lost your best player.
Right.
Now, but some team that didn't lose, the Miami Heat that went 31-9, or what this Denver team is going to get a better draft pick than my Pacers. that lost Oladipo or whatever, or some unforeseen action cost them to be bad. There does need to be a solution, and I think part of it needs to be a respect and a fear of the commissioner's office. But I think people have fallen for the okie doke because Adam Silver got rid of Donald Sterling. Therefore, we can never question or criticize him again, and he's the greatest commissioner in the history of all the sports. It's bogus. He's not. He's not tough enough for the job.
Listen, if we had 9 NFL teams tanking, it would lead every show every day. We have 9 NBA teams. Nobody's talking about it.
Because no one cares.
The fans in these cities do want their team to lose. They do. If you go to Phoenix, when you're in Phoenix, the fans want their teams to lose. So you're thinking the fans are not on board with that?
I live in Atlanta, and I guarantee you they're not on board with it.
They want They want a top 3 pick.
They want a top pick, but I guarantee you, all those celebrities that spent all that money for the tickets, they do not want to sit there and watch their team suck every year.
Yeah.
I guarantee it, and I hear it from their mouth. I hear it from
they come to see the other teams more than the Atlanta Hawks.
Exactly.
But right now, fans are hip to tanking. You think they're not? They are.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Whether fans are hip to steroids in baseball, it ain't right.
Okay, I agree with
But
that.
like Ray
Tanking's
said,
not right.
But you can't tank in football because you're getting hit in the mouth regardless, like Ray said.
I'm going to take some more shots at Adam Silver.
You can.
All right, time for last call. After a rough start to the season, #1 overall pick Markelle Fultz finished on a high note, becoming the youngest player ever to record a triple-double, breaking the record set by Lonzo Ball earlier this season. Cowherd, who's got a brighter future, Fultz or LaVar Ball's kid?
Lonzo, because I know he's not a bust. I don't know what Markelle Fultz is yet. I haven't seen enough. I mean, he's still not a great shooter. He's outside of the paint. He's not shooting a very high percentage. Lonzo's not going to be a bust. He may never be a superstar. Lonzo's not a bust. I don't know exactly what he is. Do you?
No, I don't have enough information. You're right. I do think, though, there's a ceiling for Lonzo Ball.
I agree.
I agree.
He's not athletic enough to be a superstar.
And so I don't have a ceiling yet on Markelle Fultz. And so I need some additional information. So based on potential, I would say Markelle Fultz has a brighter future.
There's a lot of questions about the Sixers in the playoffs. That's why I think in the Eastern side, they're easily the most interesting team. Simmons, Embiid coming back.
They may lose to the Heat first round. I saw you kick them in 5 or